Hey guys, welcome back to Sip and Dip with Chelsea. For today's video, I'm going to be showing y'all how to get a flawless dip powder manicure at home and spend the least amount of time during shaping. Speaking of shaping, we need to shape our natural nails first. So first, I'm going to use my glass nail file and just quickly go around my free edge and get my natural nails into shape. So for right now, I've got a square shape and I am going to taper in the sides a little bit because when we do the dip powder application, it is going to add bulk over to those sidewall areas, so I prefer a more tapered look so it doesn't get too thick and bulky on the sides. Then I'm just going to round out those corners so they're not too sharp and repeat these steps for the rest of my nails. The reason I prefer to spend this time on my natural nails first is because it's going to give us a really great solid foundation and set us up for success and less time during filing and shaping for dip powder. Be sure to also push back your cuticles, dehydrate your natural nails, and really prep them to make your manicure last. Once I'm done, I'm going to dust it all off, check them out, make sure I'm happy with it, and then I'm going to apply my peel base and start on my dip powder. I'll be using the Azure 2-in-1 dip powder liquids. This is one of my go-to liquids, and then I also grab Rebel Nails clear dip powder. You can use any clear. I'm going to remove the excess product on my brush bristles because the more control we have over our liquid, the better our application is going to be. Then I'm going to start by doing a small stripe right here in the center of my nail. What this is going to do is give us an apex, so a natural arch on our nail, and provide more strength. This step is optional. However, I do suggest doing this because putting in the work during application is going to help us spend less time when we file and shape. Once I'm done with each of the nails and it's completely dry, I'm going to dust it off and start on our color. So this is Flirty. I thought it was perfect for January. It's like a baby blue, sort of periwinkle shade with some sparkle. We're going to remove the excess product on our brush again, and this time we're going to go almost back to our cuticle area. We're going to leave the tiniest hairline away from our sidewalls and our cuticle area, dragging that excess liquid down. I am keeping this in real time so you can see exactly how slow I'm moving, and we're going to dip into the powder, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to grab my precision tool. You can also use a toothpick, and we're going to just clean up around our cuticle area. Putting in that work during application is going to give us less time during filing. So removing the excess again, I stop right about here. You can see I have a little bit of a hairline gap between my skin and the liquid. We're going to go all the way over, just leaving a small gap around those sides and dip into the powder. The reason I'm leaving a hairline gap is because this is going to help it prevent from getting too bulky at our cuticle area and sidewalls, but we're still going to get the full coverage that we're looking for. Liquid control is absolutely a must for a flawless dip powder manicure, so keeping minimal product on your brush and keeping control of it on the nail. So guiding it down, making sure it's not touching your skin, and of course, mistakes happen. So that's why I love the precision tool, because it's going to clean it up so I don't have to do that during shaping. Once I'm done with each of the nails, I'm going to dust it off, and now you can actually see that hairline gap that I was talking about. It's very minimal. However, this is going to help cut down on any bulk around the sidewall and cuticle area where we don't need that extra strength. Now let's start on the next layer. So remove the excess product on the brush bristles, and this time we're going to guide the liquid all the way back. Make sure you do not get this on your skin, but we're going to do a full layer this time, get all the way over to those sidewall areas, and have a nice even layer of liquid, and then dip into the powder. Notice how slow I'm moving, y'all. Editing is a beautiful thing, and I think people think I'm moving really quick, but this is in real time and how slow I'm moving. Then, before it dries, I'm going to use my precision tool again to really clean it up. Here's how we're looking. This is before we even file and shape. The important thing when you're using a precision tool or even a toothpick to clean up is that you're going in an upward angle. So go up so that you're not removing too much product down below on your natural nail. Now let's start on the next nail. So we're gonna guide that excess liquid back, make sure we're not getting it on our skin, and drag the excess down towards our free edge. So this is where we want the strength. Make sure you get all the way to those corners so we don't have any cracking and chipping, and dip into the powder. Then I'm going to pull my skin back and go at an upward angle so I'm not removing any excess product on the nail, just getting a clean cuticle area so I don't have to clean it when I file, shape, and buff. There are so many reasons why I'm so passionate about spending the time during application rather than shaping, and one is because I don't want to see anyone get hurt. So I don't want to see anyone cut themselves or hurt themselves because they're trying to fix a lumpy or bumpy dip powder manicure. I also don't want anyone feeling like they need to spend the money on an e-file because their application is so thick. And a lot of people want to quit because it takes so long during shaping, and I certainly don't want that. So I want to give y'all the hope that you can do this with minimal buffing, minimal shaping, and still have a beautiful dip powder manicure. Once they're dry, we're going to dust it off and clear encapsulate. So remove that excess product, do a full layer across the entire nail and dip into the clear. This is going to protect the color when we file, shape, and buff, and also provide more strength where we need it. So we've only done 2 full layers, but we have lots of great layers at our free edge where we need the strength so we don't have any cracking or chipping. I'm also going to use my precision tool again. This is going to help give us and maintain a clean cuticle area. So repeating these steps, do a full layer of the base liquid across the entire nail, getting all the way over to those sidewalls but not on our skin, and dip into the clear dip powder. I absolutely love these liquids. These are my go-to because they are a medium dry time and a thinner consistency, so it allows me to not feel rushed. I can use these for designs, but more importantly, I can build up layers and it's not super bulky. You can see how flawless this application looks already, and I haven't even had to do any shaping, and I attribute that to how easy these liquids are to use. All right, y'all, that is it for the dip powder application. We're gonna dust it off once it's dry. Here's how we're looking. You can see I have built up a beautiful natural arch. Now, I don't have to do that when I'm shaping. All I have to do is just make sure the nail is nice and smooth. It's thin at the cuticle area and sidewalls, but thick where I need it at the free edge. Now with the activator, we're going to apply a very generous layer of this. I dip back in each time. It needs to fully saturate the nail and penetrate through all of those layers so that we don't have a gummy mess or any parts that aren't properly hardened and activated before shaping. Wait 2 minutes before shaping. These Macart files are a holy grail product for me. I love them. I swear by them. So here's what we're going to do. If you have a brand new file, we need to season the edges. This is going to help cut down on you accidentally cutting your skin. So we're going to use an older file or a different file, and we're just going to lightly go across each of the edges. This is going to cut down on you possibly hurting yourself. So please, if you have a brand new file or you notice you're really cutting yourself a lot, go around each of the edges to soften it a bit. The lower the grit, the more coarse, so the rougher it is. The higher the grit, the softer, less coarse it is. I love these files because it has this rounded edge here. It's perfect for getting up around the cuticle area. I'm going to use the 180 grit during application, so this softer, less coarse side here, and I use the 100 grit, so this coarser side here, during removal when I need to remove a lot of bulk on top of the product. With the 180 grit side, I'm going to do my free edge shaping first, so little bits at a time, and stop and check. Once we remove the product, we can't put it back, so do small bits at a time, keeping an eye on it. Then I go over here to my sidewall, just crispening up, and go a little bit here on that sidewall area here and start on the next nail. This is in real time. This is how fast I do it. I stop, I check it out, make sure I have that sidewall free edge going really nicely, and then move on to the next nail. Spend the time during application so you don't have to do it during shaping. Now that I'm done with the free edge, I'm going to start on the surface of the nail. So I start by going around my sidewall first, then the cuticle area, and then back down the other sidewall area and across the entire nail. So starting right here at my sidewall, I'm going to just go from free edge all the way up to my cuticle area, then going around the cuticle area and back down the sidewall. This is why I was saying how much I love the rounded shape, because it really does help around the cuticle area so I'm not cutting into my natural nail or my skin. So what I'm doing here is just making sure there is no bulk, there's no product on my skin, and that everything is laying flush. But as you can see, again, everything I left in real time so that you can really get a feel for how fast I'm moving and how much I'm doing. Then I go across the entire top surface of the nail. This just makes sure that I don't have any lumps, bumps, or any indentations where all of my layers were starting and stopping. So we're not removing bulk, we're not removing a ton of product, just making sure that we have an even surface across the entire nail. All right, y'all, that's it. I do that individually for each nail. This is how we're looking. It's got the perfect amount of strength and arch. The important thing when holding a file, y'all, is that you're not angling it downward into your natural nail or into your skin. So make sure that you're not digging it down. It's laying parallel with the dip powder. Let's start on the next nail. So I work my way from free edge up that whole sidewall area. Then once I'm done with this section, I'm going to go up around my cuticle area. So you can see right here, I filed just this sidewall. I'm going to start now at my cuticle area. Remember how you hold the file. Don't dig it down, so no downward angle towards the natural nail or our skin. And look at how slow I'm going. I'm going extremely slow, doing small little bits at a time to make sure I don't hurt myself or remove too much product. So I'm done now with this section, and I'm going to start now on the other sidewall area. Once I'm done with this sidewall, I'm going to go across the entire top surface of the nail again to make sure I don't have any lumps, bumps, everything is a nice smooth surface. This section of the video, I'm looking at it right now, is 1.3 minutes. So about 1 minute per nail, that's it. It really should not take super long if you spend the time during application. I know I've said it a trillion times, but this is how fast it is. I just do small bits at a time, making my way down the nail until I see the entire nail has been shaped. That's how quick and easy it is. I've got a beautiful arch. It's not too bulky at my cuticle area or sidewalls. And then I'm gonna go do the other nails off camera. Here's a quick side-by-side of the before and after, and now that I'm done, I'm gonna dust it all off. Let's talk buffing blocks. This is the one I'm gonna use today. However, honorable mention goes to this one from Rebel Nail. The reason I really like this one is because it has multiple grits to it. So you're gonna get one that's a little bit more coarse, one that's super smooth, so it's gonna give you a very smooth finish. The reason I'm not using this one today is because it's overused. It doesn't really have much grit to it, so I need to buy more. If you're in the market for a buffing block, I really suggest these ones. As you can see, it gives a super smooth finish. So I'm going to go back to Old Faithful, the one that's more coarse because it's what I have the most on hand. And I'm going to start by going down the sidewall, cuticle area, and other sidewall again. So you're going to see it's the same steps except with the buffing block. The reason I'm doing this is because it's going to give that final finishing touch for a flawless manicure. Remember how you're holding it. So it's okay to angle it slightly with the dip powder. We want to work with the dip powder, going parallel with the product, but not angling it down into our natural nail or skin. So small bits at a time. And then once you're done with those sidewall areas, go across the entire top surface. Once I'm happy with it, then I start on the next nail. So going around that sidewall area and cuticle area, just making sure everything is smooth and flush with the nail. Do small bits at a time so that you don't hurt yourself or remove too much product, and then go across the entire top surface. It should be a super quick, simple process, but this is the final touch before we do top coat. So do make sure that you're happy with it. I'm going to finish the rest up off camera. I feel like y'all get it by this point. I'm going to dust it off. Here's how we're looking. I want to talk to y'all about another product. So this is the glass nail file I used on my natural nails, but I want to mention you can use this with dip powder. Is it going to be as effective? No. However, the positive with that is it's less likely you're going to cut your skin or remove too much product. So if you're struggling with using an emery board file, you can use a glass file because it's going to be more gentle. The other product I want to mention is this ergo file. So it has a beautiful rounded edge that you can use to get a super crisp, clean cuticle area again in a more gentle, effective manner without hurting your skin. So you just run it right here. If you're struggling with getting that crisp line, this could be another great product for you to have on hand. The last product I want to talk about is this dust collector from Melody Susie. It's very small and compact. You have a simple power on and off switch here. You have a high fan setting and a low fan setting. This pops off with magnets, so it's super easy to get on and off. And then you have the filter that you can tap out after each use or change out as needed. The reason I'm talking about this product is because I actually get asked about them often. I don't typically grab for it when I'm filming because it's kind of cluttered looking and messy, so I keep it simple when I'm filming. However, it's a great product to have on hand because this is going to pull the dust away from your lungs and down into here. You can see for size reference, I love having this product. So if you're in the market for one, I do suggest it. Do you have to have one? No, but it is something nice to have, so I want to mention it during a shaping video. All right, y'all, that's enough talking. Let's get back to dip powder. We need to do our second application of Activator. So another generous layer of Activator and wait 2 minutes for it to dry. Then I'm going to go in with a dry lint-free wipe. You can also use a napkin or a paper towel, and we're going to rub it across the entire top surface of all of the nails. This is going to help make sure we don't have any leftover Activator residue before we go in for top coat. So now it's time for our dip powder top coat. So this is a 2-in-1, so it is the same product. However, it will be used as top coat now. So 3 quick strokes on the nail. That's it. This is in real time. It's not so much about perfection on this part. Think of it as nail polish. Nail polish does not like to be over manipulated on the nail. So this first layer is just 3 quick strokes. That is all you need. Then once it's dry, here's how I can tell. Do you see how it has sort of a matte, wrinkly look? Now I know that it's dry and I can go in for the second layer. Now the second layer is going to be more precise and detailed. Do you see how many more strokes I'm doing, making sure I get all the way over to those sidewalls and then cap off the free edge. This is going to seal it all in, make sure we don't have any peeling, chipping, cracking, all the things. Once I'm done with each of the nails and it's completely dry, the most important part to any flawless dip powder manicure is cuticle oil. So I'm going to add some of this to each of the nails and then rub it all in. This is really going to help give that finish. I know it sounds crazy, but having skin that is hydrated and moisturized and happy is an important part to having a flawless finish. So here it is. I hope that you guys found today's video helpful. I'm super curious to know what you think of these slower pace, more real-time, longer style tutorials. Thank y'all so much for being here. And of course, let me know if you have any other questions, and I will see y'all next week.